We all know that Brinsea incubators are the gold standard in incubating and breeding chickens. But did you know their coop openers are every bit as good? Welcome to English Country Life. Welcome to the chicken enclosure. My name's Hugh, and today I want to talk to you about Chicksafe coop openers and closers, and they come from Brinsea. If you've been keeping chickens for any time at all, you've probably heard of Brinsea because they have a fantastic reputation for their electronic goods. So they do things like incubators and brooders and candlers, and the quality is honestly second to none. And I can tell you now, the quality of their coop openers and closers is exactly the same, absolutely first rate. It's a very straightforward range. So there are two models of opening closers, this one which is called the Eco and another one called the Advance, and a very clever telescoping door that allows you to fit the unit to really small low coops that otherwise wouldn't have room for a solid metal pop hole, room for the pop hole to open, and then room for the control unit above that. So I'm going to show you fitting that today. Which one's right for you depends on what you want. This Eco unit is so straightforward. It takes two screws to fit it, and there are no buttons to press, no setup to do. If you want to go as far as fitting the telescoping pop hole door as well, there's another 6 screws, and that's it. What the Eco unit does is it opens at dawn and it closes at dusk, and that's it. That's all it does. And it's really straightforward. So if what you've got is a small backyard flock, and that's what you want it to do, to close chickens up in the winter when you're not home from work, when it gets dark early, let them out in the summer in the mornings when they want to come out at 5 AM before you get up, this is probably the unit for you. If, like us, you keep cockerels, so you don't want your cockerel coming out dead early in the morning, you want to program your unit to let it out at a certain time, but always close at dusk, then the Advance is the unit for you. And we've done a full review on the Chicksafe Advance, and I'll put a link somewhere up here and you can have a look at that if you want. I'll link at the end of the video as well. But today we're going to look at the Eco and we're going to talk about the range as a whole, and we're also at the end going to offer you an exclusive discount code that's valid for the rest of this year. So if you're thinking about a present for a chicken keeper, then stay around to the end. Today I'm going to install the Brinsea Chicksafe Eco opener and closer together with their door on this old broody coop. And the first thing I have to do is remove the existing door, and it's a sort of combination flap cum pop hole cum ramp, and we've had that in place because I can't get a vertical pop hole to clear that existing aperture and have room above it for an opener, but I can with the Brinsea unit. That's what I'm really so excited to show you. So what I'm doing now is just offering up the Brinsea door, and you fit the door before you fit the unit. It's very simple. There are 3 screws per rail and a rail on each side. So first things first, install the rail on one side with the 3 supplied screws. I find that I use a 3mm drill just to drill a pilot hole first to ensure that everything goes smoothly. With the first rail in place, what I'm doing is just finding the top and bottom of the second rail, and then I'll put the 2 halves of the telescoping pop hole into their relative slots. They have a slot each, one behind the other, and I'm going to make sure that when I install that second rail, the whole thing moves smoothly. I don't want to sort of jam it tight because wood expands and contracts, and if you do it too tightly, it will cause you problems later, same as any other pop hole. But I'm happy with that location. I've drilled some holes and I'm putting in the last 3 screws. And as you can see, when it's open, it takes up very little space, but when it's closed, it covers a good sized pop hole. And everything's moving really smoothly, and I'm very happy with the installation of the door. So now I've moved the door into the open position, and I'm marking up the position for the auto opener and closer. And these opening closers are really good. They can lift any door up to 4 kilos themselves, and they automatically operate in low temperatures and extreme weather. So they come to a very high specification. The same that some people charge a premium for is supplied as standard on the Brinsea. So I found the centre line. I'm just drilling 2 little pilot holes, and that's all you need to fit the auto open and closer. Put 2 screws in and it simply hooks onto those two screws. That's all there is to fitting it. Once that's done, what I need to do is move the door into its open position and tie the string to the door exactly where I want it to be when it's open. And that applies whether it's the Brinsea door or your own existing pop hole. Doesn't matter. Put it in the open position, tie the string on. Then the last thing on the installation is to connect up the battery pack. And because you've tied the door in the open position, the Brinsea system will notice and record that's where you want the door to be open. And when it closes, which it will do automatically at dusk, as soon as the door hits the bottom of the coop, it knows that the door is closed and it turns the motor off. That's it. It's such a simple fit. So let's take a look. And rather than make you sit through it twice, you'll notice I've got an opening door and a closing door in the same picture. And Coop on the left has a piece of black plastic to simulate dark. But what I want you to notice is at the moment is the Coop on the right. You can see the door is lifting, and what's happening is the bottom half lifts in front of the top half, so it makes it a very small footprint. As it lifts it, it actually does literally fold up like a telescope. And now if you look at the Coop on the left, you can see as it lowers the door, that sort of telescoped door expands to fully cover the pop hole. So it's a big door when closed and a small door when open. And that really works extremely well. And it lets you fit these doors to coops the way you couldn't otherwise have a traditional pop hole, and therefore you couldn't have an auto opener. So let me give you some conclusions. What do I think of the Chicksafe units? I suspect you already know that I genuinely love them. I really like working with our friends over at Brinsea. We've used a lot of their equipment. We use their incubators, their candlers, we use their brooders, and we love it. And when they started doing this Chicksafe range, we were really keen to try that out. They kindly let us have an advanced unit, but I also wanted to test the eco unit out as well, because as you know, we've tested most of the quality units on the market, from Chicken Guard, from Titan, from Omelette. You know, we really do take looking at this stuff seriously to work out what's best. And knowing how good Brinsea are, I wanted to look at the whole range of the Chicksafe stuff. Which is best? If I just had hens and it was a sort of back garden operation, maybe one coop, there's honestly no need for much more than the eco unit. It opens at dawn, it closes at dusk, it adjusts itself as the days get shorter and the nights get longer, and it's just so easy to set up. Would I buy the very clever telescoping door? If I had a good pop hole and there was room to fit the unit on my existing coop, no. But if I didn't have a decent pop hole, or it was a low coop like this that doesn't have room to have a vertical pop hole without one that telescopes, yes I would. What would I buy? For us, I would buy a Chicksafe Advance, because with cockerels we want to keep them in so they're not crowing at 4 o'clock on a summer's morning. We want that additional control of being able to mix and match timing functions with daylight functions, etc. But that's because of the nature of our setup. So I think, you know, for everyone, I would say think about what you do and then decide on which of those units is right. The Advanced definitely gives you more features, but obviously that does come at a little bit more cost. The doors are great if you need them. Now, given that we've tested all the different units, would I buy a Chicksafe from Brinsea? Yes. Yes, I would. They have some features that I think are unique to them. The telescoping door is one. The ability to just pop the lid off and change batteries is another. I haven't come across any others in the market that do that. Almost all the others, you need a screwdriver and these little tiny screws that can get lost in the grass, in the middle of the night, in the rain, when the batteries have gone. I don't want to do that. I want it to be simple. And the other thing I love is they give a bright red LED that warns you when the battery needs changing, so you don't have to scroll through menus and check stuff. It's instantly obvious when you come out at dusk if the battery wants changing, and you can change it easily. It comes from Brinsea, and as I've said before, we know their reputation for quality, so absolutely I would go with a Chicksafe unit. The other thing is, we are so pleased with them that we spoke to the wonderful people there and said, look, can we offer a discount to our subscribers? And Brinsea have never done this before. They've never offered a discount, but we kind of cajoled and we've asked them, so for the rest of this year, you can get 10% off the whole Chicksafe range. That's either of the open and closer units and the door, and they do kits of the various opens and closers with the door. So for any of those that you want this side of the new year, go to the Brinsea UK site and use code ECL10 at checkout and you'll get 10% off. And that's a first for Brinsea. It's never been done before. No one else can offer you that. So enjoy it. And really, for the chicken keeper in your life, even if that's you, think about one for Christmas. That was the Brinsea Chicksafe range of Coop's auto openers and closers. They are every bit as good as the rest of the Brinsea range. If you've enjoyed today's video, can you spare us 5 seconds? Give us a thumbs up down below. And I'm going to ask a favour. If you know of what you consider to be top quality products for chicken keeping, small holding, self-sufficient living, please tell us what they are in the comments and we may be able to include them in a future video, because I think it's great to be able to recommend products that we really think are top rate and make our lives easier as smallholders. If you'd like to see those videos and everything else we produce, tap on subscribe down there if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the bell next to it. It's completely free, but you'll then hear every time we upload a new video. But for today, thanks for watching. Come back and see us soon. Take care.